And I want to throw another form of waste out there, which also that helps. That model you just put out there also helps to reduce waiting. Waiting
is one of the first ones, right?
Because that's the biggest form of waste, right? Waiting. If you're in different parts of the world, you need to send an email. You got to wait for a reply if they even see it. That wait time is non-value add time because you're not doing anything while you're waiting. Yeah, sure, you can go start something else. But what you've essentially done is reduced your productivity because now you've got increased WIP limits. You got all kinds of bad flow problems going on. So anytime you introduce waiting into a process, you've become less efficient.
I have this pet peeve, right? There's theoretically 8 MUDOs, right? 8 wastes.
Yes.
I think there's more. Do you agree?
Yeah, and there's also different waste in the manufacturing space than there's waste in the
Absolutely.
knowledge space.
Depends on what context, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw some, and I'm going to see if you appreciate them, because if you appreciate them, then that'll make me feel good. And I'd like to hear if you have any. So I always say that at least two of the MUDOs that I would add on to it is one that I already referred to was reinventing the wheel, right? Yeah. So you have a process, and then for some reason somebody comes along and smashes a hammer on and says, this is bad, we need to do this. And then it's basically the same process, and you're wasting time retraining a team on something that they already knew how to do. That's one. And the other one I call smoke and mirrors. The concept of politics and lying to one another.
Bureaucracy.
Yes.
And not just the bureaucracy, but the dishonesty, if I can be so bold as saying that happens within those bureaucracies.
Yeah. So you agree that depending on the context that you're in, you can reshape them, and there's a couple ones that are probably not mentioned.
Yeah, and to me, it's more important that you recognize that waste is part of your process and you need to do something about it.
I think that it's such a brilliant concept. It's such a brilliant concept because the simplicity of it, I think the true value, anything that takes a complex subject and simplifies it so that it becomes realizable, pragmatic, you can take action on it. That's what I love about what we do.
You said, Mark, I think it's a funny story, but it really hits. I know it'll hit home for you when I say this. So often as a coach, I get brought in to say, they say, oh, I want you to teach my teams how to do Agile, spin up these teams and you're good, right? Yeah. I'm like, all right, okay, fine, we'll start here. And it's always the starting point. You start with these teams and you spin them up. And after a period of time, maybe a few months, they start recognizing that the teams are more productive, but they're still not producing more. There's more, right? Yeah. And that's when they start recognizing there's organizational problems that are slowing those teams down. And those problems have always been there. Yeah. They're not new because you're bringing Agile. It's just Agile is now saying, look right here, you've got a problem. Let's go fix this. And that's the real power of whatever framework you're using. It doesn't make any difference, right? It's recognizing and visualizing where your problems are. The biggest problems that I find when I go into organizations, it's not the teams, right? Yes, you can make the teams more efficient, no question. But the real problems, the real waste I see is initiating work. That from idea to actually starting the work is huge amounts of waste. Waiting for sign-offs, waiting for approvals, waiting for
the number one waste is waiting forever for decisions that should have been made a long time ago while your team is sitting on their hands and you've got costs running. Exactly.
How many times have you seen projects where 6 months is spent initiating the project and then 3 months actually building the thing? Yeah. Right? It's crazy. Absolutely. That's your waste. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.